Before you download the Track and Trace app, you should consider what I am about to show you. This is not my opinion, it's merely facts.
To control coronavirus, testing and tracing must become a new way of life.
The Track and Trace app that's being marketed and sold to the public as an NHS app is contracted to and run by a private company named Serco. You might think, what is wrong with that? If someone were to give an answer to the question of what can go wrong with a massive surveillance project, the answer would be this. The British government opted to pursue a methodology of storing everyone's data centrally, as opposed to the alternative of letting individuals' phones store the data. This required 60% of the population to download the app for it to work. The question of privacy loomed large. Serco was contracted to train, recruit and manage contact tracers whilst maintaining the privacy of everyone involved. But at this early stage, it has been forced into a humiliating apology after it shared the email addresses of 296 tracers by accident. Serco has fallen at the first hurdle and failed to even keep its own people's data secure. The choice of Serco to handle this project is adding insult to injury. The company was fined £19.2 million last summer for fraud and false accounting over the Ministry of Justice's electronic tagging service for released prisoners where one of 6 tags they charged the government for didn't exist, resulting in overcharging of £50 million. 2 of their former executives were also criminally charged over the affair. The Panama Papers leaked unearthed more dirt on Serco's track record. They referenced allegations against Serco which included breaching responsibilities of the handling of nuclear waste, manipulating results to show it met NHS targets, covering up sexual abuse of immigrants, plus horrendous reports from prisons it ran in New Zealand and Australia.
Serco is everywhere. If there's a government department for it, there's probably a Serco service for it. Except Serco call them markets. But let's try and give you a sense of the scale of this thing.
They are the largest air traffic controller in the world. They run half of London's traffic light system and an RAF base.
Serco works in 6 sectors of public service supply: transport, health, defense, immigration, justice, and citizen services. Yes, a single company is responsible for most of the transport, health, immigration, prison, and citizen services in the UK, just in case you missed it the first time I said it.
They run all 7 detention centres in Australia, and it is considered the largest prison operator in the UK. In one of their prisons, a 14-year-old hanged himself after being assaulted by Serco guards, which was the youngest ever recorded death in custody. But that doesn't mean they are not good with kids, as they run all the state schools in Bradford. You see, they are a giant of a company, and that's why we trust them to keep us safe. Serco has run the UK's ballistic missile systems since it was initially outsourced in 1964, as well as the entire UK nuclear arsenal from creation to decommissioning.
And they're involved at RAF Menwith Hill, the secretive signals intelligence gathering centre that's thought to be involved in GCHQ's Tempora Dragnet project. So it could be that they're helping the government collect data on you.
You'd think things like nuclear arsenals and border protection should be handled by the government, but don't worry, because over 70% of Serco's employees are ex-public servants, so they have all the training and connections to handle big government contracts. As you are watching this, Serco continues to secure contracts around the world to build prisons, run military bases and border protection. Their company has grown since 1994 with a current official value of £3.3 billion. Serco's CEO, Robert Soames, grandson of Winston Churchill and brother of Conservative MP Nicholas Soames. Rupert was trapped in a web of lies recently. He was caught tweeting aboard a sleeper train from London to Scotland during its lockdown. The company's media arm's statement said, "He fiercely defends his decision to show solidarity with frontline workers." Those words might have worked if Mr. Soames had not been photographed 3 hours later on a boat near Loch Nevis. It turns out he has a country estate there where he employs 3 staff. Responding to the new evidence, he said the purpose of the visit was to conduct essential job interviews with candidates for the position of resident manager. Wasn't this the same issue that forced Scotland's Chief Medical Officer Catherine Calderwood to resign? The excuse of conducting interviews for a non-key worker role is blatantly not valid, but I'm not going to be petty about it. In the grand scheme of things, this is the least of my worries.
For me, what matters is what works, because what works will save lives. And I will work with anyone, public or private sector, here or overseas, to gain any inch of ground against this disease.
If you are okay with this track record, then go ahead. Download the app that promises to save your life.
Sometimes when you download an app on your phone, it asks you if you want to allow it to use Bluetooth. Apps that should have nothing to do with Bluetooth. That's because Bluetooth isn't just allowing your devices to communicate with each other, it's allowing your device to communicate with other people's devices as well. So basically, as you move throughout society, your device will send signals to other people's devices so that if you came in contact with someone that was diagnosed with the virus, your phone would send you an alert and tell you that you need to self-quarantine. The applications also will be able to record where you are and the people that you've been around and in contact with. Now our devices will do the jobs that these doctors used to, without us even thinking about it. What I provided was an oversimplification of a very complicated system, but it's something that you have to know and understand. It's already been implemented in other countries around the world, and if you just look into what China has been doing, it's very easy to see exactly how far this can actually go and what it may mean for your life. But really, what should it mean to you? I'm certain that people that are gripped with fear by this virus may look at this technology as a good thing. But all this is allowing technology to have more access into our lives. We are letting apps know too much about our lives, where we are, and who we are around. And from this, they are now implementing it into how they will govern our lives. So as you go out and engage in society, it's quite possible that you come around people that have been infected with the virus, and then your phone tells you that you need to self-quarantine.
China goes even further, assigning citizens a colour-coded level based on their health condition and travel history, which determines whether they're allowed into malls or public transport, for examples. South Korea's sharing previous movements of COVID-19 patients, which has led to residents being outed for non-COVID-19 related reasons and public shaming. Israel has an app that warns users if they've crossed paths with an infected patient, and Taiwan has introduced a digital fence using smartphone data to enforce quarantines. All novel ideas which perhaps in ordinary times would come under heavier scrutiny where rights issues are concerned. Yvonne Yong, ABC News.
And that's scary by itself, but we haven't even thought about what the government enforcement looks like. Understand that the government can force you into quarantine. If you live in a country like China, this statement probably isn't something that shocks you. But here in the United States, most people living here do not completely have this understanding. And if it is able to happen here in the United States, wherever you live around the world, it can happen there too.
Hi, I'm Bart from Blocklaw, and today I would like to present to you our flagship product, which is used to block signal of electric devices. Our product blocks signals such as GPS, GSM and NFC. Our products are used in various industries, at the important business meeting, and also as a cover for the keyless car key, which prevent your car from stealing. And also it is used by people who don't want to be located by their boss. Let's start the presentation. When you open the case, you will find two pockets, one inside brighter and the darker one. The brighter one blocks all signals and your phone will be unavailable and no one can locate it. The darker one doesn't block the signal of phone. That's all today. If you have some more questions, please contact with us. You will find mail in the below. Thanks for watching.